Greetings to you wherever you are. And in this video, I'm going to speak about how I've been called a master teacher all around the world. While in my country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, people call me stupid and crazy. People say that I would have lost my mind. But they were true when they say I lost my mind. They were speaking the truth. Because I would have lost the colonial mindset. I would have lost the religious mindset. I would have lost the idiotic mindset whereby I've been raised to look on the outside for a Lord, a Savior, a Master, and a Redeemer. When the redeeming power is within me, the power of mastery is within me. Everything that is being created into my reality, I am the cause of it. And so, when I start teaching people all around the world that the Bible is actually a book of mind science, and it all have to do with the inner sun science and technology to create your reality consciously. People, as I said before, in my country, they call me crazy. But my challenge to anyone in my country is to hire me to be your mentor or your coach when it comes to attracting anything that you desire in this world. And prove for yourself that imagination is what creates reality. Prove for yourself that God in man is man's imagination, man's awareness of being. Prove for yourself that when the student is ready, that the teacher will appear. And so, my brothers and my sisters, I consider myself as a master teacher based on my experience. Okay? You see, we live in a world whereby you've been taught to accept the king, accept the queen, accept your prime minister, accept your president, and accept ministers of government, accept religious ministers, accept your school teachers, and so on. But we were never taught to accept our prophets, our seers, our mystics, our sages, and so on. I can go on and on and on. That's the reason why you will hear many people refer to themselves as the man of God and the woman of God, but they will never refer to themselves as being a God man. They always put the man before the invisible man. So they put the physical man before the invisible man. And for example, when you look at the financial world, the world of money, they teach you to go after the physical money instead of the psychological currency. What do I mean by that? Just wait for the wind to calm a little bit. Okay? I believe right now the wind is actually vindicating what I'm saying. Okay? For example, most people are not aware that money is a flowing energy or currency, and that both poverty and prosperity have to do with our mentality. And so, my brothers and my sisters, when you understand how the mind works and you start to exercise your mind, that's how you will discover all of the lies that you were told. So if you're listening to me and you think that I'm stupid and you think that I'm crazy, then I would encourage you to challenge me. I wouldn't encourage you to challenge me if you already believe what I am saying. Because I'm not dwelling on belief. I'm dwelling on knowing. So there are practical things I will give you to do to prove whether I am wrong or right. And the agreement would be that when you prove what I'm saying, then you pay me. That's why I would charge you handsomely. But I'm not going to take the money until you prove what I say. I am telling you that imagination do create reality. So if you can believe that, how could you believe that there's a devil and there's a hell and somehow going to punish you? You can't believe that. So to be a true master teacher, you would be rejected by certain people. For example, all the religious and superstitious people in my country who believe in an outside Lord and Savior and Master and Redeemer of 2,000 years ago and so on, right? They don't believe in the SUN, right? They don't believe the SUN is the light of the world. They don't believe the SUN is the giver of our life. They do not believe that the sun, parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. But without the sun, there's no life and there's no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. They don't really believe that. Okay, and that's what I've been teaching for many years. They believe that a woman gave birth to a son that was special and unique. But I wrote a book on that called The Secret Vagina, Mystery of the Virgin Birth. I'll definitely encourage you to get that book too. Okay, but the point I want to bring across to you, the man who they believe who born 2,000 years ago, you know that man was hated by politicians and preachers. You know when politicians are offering you an education revolution, this enlightened, awakened man, self-realized man, because that's what this story is all about, you know. He's offering you an imagination revolution. So he's telling you, the building that car school, it was first imagined. The books, it was first imagined. The pencil was first imagined. The pen was first imagined. The chalk, the blackboard, the bench, the desk, everything was first imagined. It was first a thought. It was first an idea. He's saying to you that they are robbing you from your imagination by giving you academic education as the key to end poverty. That's why I would have written a book called Meditate to Eradicate Poverty. So only those who disagree with me, I am encouraging to challenge me. Hire me. Because you disagree with me. You have to disagree with me. Because I'm going to show you the opposite. And the test I'm going to give you is that I'm going to have you to write down something that you would not do. And you're going to have it with you. Okay, you're going to stick it up all around your house too, saying, I would not do this, I would not do that. Okay? But then, at nights, I will tell you exactly what to do before you go to bed. And if you end up doing that thing, if you end up doing that thing, the thing you say you're never going to do, you have it stick up all over your house, all in your bathroom. I won't do that. For example, I won't in Kentucky for the next 3 months. Okay? I'll never eat Kentucky within the next 3 months. You write that down. I teach you what to do in the night. For a couple of nights. And you end up and you eat it. Then you're going to realize it's either this man a crazy man, a magic man, a devil man, a miracle man, a God man, a obia man, a witchcraft man. All these different terminology people just use when they do not understand certain things. That's why I'm saying these things. So, my brother and my sisters, this whole video is basically to raise your curiosity and to realize that there's a man among you who could definitely turn on the light. There's a man who could definitely help you. You know, just recently I met someone in the financial complex when I came up in the elevator. Just I came out, the brother showed me. He said, man, years ago, you taught me certain things, you know, and you told me to do something. I do them, man, my life is real good. Financially speaking, everything just happening. for me, man, when I do what you say, man, these things do work. Okay, there's another gentleman right in this country too. You know, when he leave his job with the ministry, his parents thought he was going crazy, he was losing his mind, but I know he was going through an awakening process. Okay, I spoke with him. I said, man, I will teach you alchemy. Because he had alchemy on his social media thing. I said, bro, you don't know nothing about alchemy. I said, define alchemy for me. He defined an alchemist. I said, nah, you understand alchemy, man. I will teach you. That's why people want to ask me, hey, you belong to some secret society? But no, I belong to none of them. None. Absolutely none. As a matter of fact, I was given an offer. Okay, when I started YouTube, and so I refused all the different offers. Okay, I'm not gonna sell out, man. I refuse millions. Yeah. That's why you check out my YouTube channels and so on. They shadow ban me. Yeah, man. I'm not afraid to say that. Okay, so I know why talking, you understand? So when preachers want to jump up and down and so on and carry on, that's their prerogative. Okay, when politicians want to jump up and carry on, that's their prerogative. I'm not here to try to change none of those things. Those things are needed in our society. But I can guarantee you that you have the power to change your reality whichever way you want it to be. You have the power to bend reality to your will. I know that for sure. That's why there's no one to change but self. So I'm not against the political system. I'm not against the religious system. I'm not against the educational system. I'm not against none of those systems. And I'm not trying to change none of those systems. I just have an understanding that goes beyond those systems because I born in this world with a certain program, a mental program with certain mental faculties. Okay, like my will and my perception, my reasoning, and so on, and my intuition, and above all, my imagination. I'm born with that. The power to farm, shape, mold, and everything. It was that same intelligence that tells me to put my mother in a labor pain to come over here to have this experience, this exodus. Man, I could go into the whole mystery of Moses and explain to you know why Moses meant to be born, you know. Or your mother Red Sea has stopped, you know. You know, every woman period has stopped, right? She gets strike with a rod, you know. Yeah. Do you know you were surrounded by water? You know, most of the body is water. It was in a basket in the room, you know. And you wanted to experience the exodus. And when you come over here, what do you think you realize? You're in slavery. What kind of slavery? Your body is a slave to your mind. You can't tell your backside to go in the toilet and take a shit in. You have to go there. Whether you're the king, the queen, the prime minister, the president, it doesn't matter. Okay? You have to do that. And Pharaoh represents your circumstances. You have to face all of your circumstances. Not until you realize that you're the cause, you'll be able to defeat them and come into the promised land. I could go on and on. Man, I could break down the entire Bible to make sense to anyone. And I can be proven wrong. It is impossible. I wrote a book on that, can be proven wrong. And all I use is the law of reproduction. Every seed, every species must all reproduce after its own kind. Up to this day, no man could walk on water. No man could turn water into wine. I wrote a book on that too. How to turn water into wine. I want to teach you. Save the best wine for last. So my brother, my sisters, let me end here, man. I'm too crazy. I was too crazy for the country I live in, man. Too crazy. That's why I have to share the information on the outside. And the people say, this man is a master teacher. And all the books that I have, is people recommend those books by saying to me, bro, I know for sure you read that book. But I say, what? You have a book named so? That's why I say to myself, I never had a book named so. Let me go check out that book. So I started getting my books and so on. Okay? Even as I speak to you here, I have a book right here. It is because people was telling me they know I read some of these books. I have a book here on metaphysics. Okay? Okay? People think I used to read these things like this. Nah, I had an awakening experience, bro. They don't want you to ever wake out of the gym, you know. Yeah, they don't want you to ever awake out of the gym. They don't want you to know what Chateau them had known before the Europeans, you know. Man, look. Let me come to a close, yeah? Let me stop. Yeah, so let me say, if this is the very first time you listen to me, what I said, if it makes sense to you, if you think I could be a good master teacher and a mentor to really help you, and I could be a good mindset coach, and I could really change you to rearrange your mind to get certain results in your life and so on, man, you could reach out to me, man. You know what I mean? Even the young man who I was talking about, who I spoke with and think concerning alchemy, you know, just the other day, he reached out to me, say, yo, the $100,000 debt I had, I don't write that off. Yeah, man, sometimes the man could pull in all $10,000 in a day, in this country, right in this country. But the business he man is doing a very legal business. But, that's crazy, man. But one thing results don't tell her, results don't argue. Okay, so after 2020 to 2022, still call upon a savior to come save you. We think that some people take the inoculation as loans and mortgages, Man, I don't even want to go into certain things, eh? Because I remember when the pastor said he's going to call police for me for pulling down all the posters here in the church. I said, man, there's a scam they make. God never tell you to do that. Then I meet him about a year or two after. I say, Pastor, remember I tell you? You want to call police and me. Police might have beat the shit out of me. Yeah, because they're that brainwash, eh? But anyway, let me not talk certain things. Eh? Okay, yeah. Yeah, he tell me, turn around and tell me he always know it was fake. He's such a bold-faced liar and hypocrite. But let me anything. So, with that, Mr. My brother, my sisters, if what I'm saying makes sense and resonates with you and you like to subscribe, you can subscribe, you can comment, you can like, you share the video. If you like to get my books, the links are down in the description, man. You want to do one-on-one with me, want to be mentored by me, whatsoever you desire. My last encouragement to you to check out all of the links that are down below and definitely let your intuition, let me repeat that, let your intuition, your inside teacher, lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace, love you all, out.